Welcome back, and I must make a correction, my own little mistakes typing. That was the Colombian pageant that we just saw.
Así que esas son las modelos del festival colombiano, o el certamen colombiano que fue en el Hyatt. Así que estamos haciendo esa corrección. Y bueno, ahora tenemos a la persona que han estado escuchando, que vamos a entrevistar, a Aaron.
Yes.
Larget-Caplan.
You got to say it this time. I said my own name for a second.
Well, it's not a bad name.
No, that's a great name. So thanks for coming back.
Thank you for having me.
Great.
It's a great pleasure to be here. It's always nice to play here and play for your wonderful audience. Thank you.
And that song is the first of a couple of songs you're going to be doing on the show from the new Lullaby project.
Yes.
Your CD.
Yes, I put out a CD very recently called New Lullaby. I commissioned composers from across the United States to write me a lullaby for guitar solo. And I've received about 26. 19 have been premiered, 14 are on this disc. I have to make a caveat. I was joined by an amazing flutist who actually whistled, Orlando Sela, for an amazing track, as well as there's a lullaby where a composer, Eric Schwartz, imagined falling asleep in front of a television. And so the television's gone to snow. This is before digital. And so it's a bachelor pad, and there's this, you hear the snow in the background, the shh, and this haunting lullaby comes in.
Wow.
It's very cool. I have Adam and Eve's first lullaby, The Sixth Night. The one you heard, My Darling Slumber, is a play on a Stephen Foster song that Francine Trester heard as a child, that her mother would sing to her, called Slumber, My Darling. So she changes it. It's not that piece per se, but I was interested in new works, and the lullaby spoke to me.
Wow, that's so interesting. It's
so
different.
Definitely different. How did you come up with the concept of lullabies?
Well, on my first disc, Tracing a Wheel on Water, I'll be playing a piece from there today. I play a Cuban lullaby. It's called Canción de Cuna, or Afro-Cuban lullaby. The words are, you have to keep your feet under the blankets at night, or little monsters will eat your toes. I don't sing it, though. It's just the fingers. And I would play it in concert, and people would go nuts. Didn't matter if I played Bach, Schubert, contemporary work, flamenco. Everyone would say, you know, Aaron, that lullaby. And it drove me nuts. But my wife said, Aaron, this is a good idea. And so I debated how to do a CD of lullabies. I didn't want to do Brahms. I didn't want to do what had already been done, music to relax to. I don't find music is just for that. I find music should inspire and activate our minds and our souls. And I love new music, so I put the two together. And a number of composers have been very excited by it, and it's been a lot of fun, and it will continue.
Wow. Así que bueno, estamos hablando aquí con este gran artista que ha estado en nuestro programa anteriormente, y estamos hablando que este disco compacto nuevo del que escucharon este primer número está compuesto por lo que se llaman canciones de cuna, que son lullabies en inglés, y él lo que hizo fue que habló con varios compositores en Estados Unidos para que le escribieran canciones de cuna originales, y eso es lo que están escuchando. Y toda esta idea viene originalmente de una canción de cuna que él tenía, afrocubana, que parece que era un éxito, no importaba lo que él tocaba, si era Bach, la gente siempre le gustaba esta, así que entre él y su esposa decidieron hacer este disco compacto.
So let me see if I get this right. You have a whole bunch of other artists playing and composing for your...
No.
Not playing.
Just composing.
You're interpreting their work.
Yes, they write down these black dots that we call music.
Yeah.
And then I sit there and I look at it, the music, and I first see if it's playable. Not everyone plays guitar.
Yeah.
And so I go through and I make my notes about what I think it is. And because they're alive, I mean, Beethoven's dead, Bach is dead, I can call up these composers and I can say, what do you mean?
Oh, that's
funny. Is this how you mean this phrase should go? You know that's not playable and this is playable, I like it, but what if we change the key? And all of these pieces have had major edits and different ideas come about it, because I'm a person, you're a person, we all have different hands, and I hear something that maybe they didn't hear Or maybe they say, Aaron, you're missing the boat. And they put me back on the boat, and we make music together. And it changes. As I play that piece, like Francine's piece, I've played it a dozen times, and it changes every time. It's wonderful.
Wow. Do some people send you music like on a tape or a CD, and it's not written out, and then you transcribe it?
I've had a couple people do that, but that's not really what the project is. So because I only have so much time. And so I do say, write it down. And even if I need to help with it, I did a couple arrangements of a song from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
The Oompa Loompa song?
No, that's too easy. No, what is it? When he walks into the chocolates and they go into the garden and look around, and anything you dream, just dream it. It's a beautiful song. And a student asked me to arrange it, so I arranged it. I have an amazing arrangement of Summertime by a Japanese composer. So all of these pieces introduce new composers, people you've probably never heard of. And new music can be a little intimidating. Oh, I don't understand enough, I have a bad ear, I can't sit still. But who's afraid of a lullaby? So that's how it's come about. And you know, today we're in BNN, and tomorrow the world and everywhere else. So it's very exciting.
Right.
That's wonderful. And how long did it take you, I mean, between the asking them to compose these lullabies and then the editing part? I mean, that's a big project.
It is. The project started at the end of 2006, and it got a big hiatus, and that's about the time I met you, because I had a major house fire. And I had to move 12 times in 3 years. And trying to practice and getting these pieces, I premiered a few in 2007, did a few more in 2008, and as people heard about this, they would change their piece. And they'd say, you know, you've gone through this very emotional and very, almost tragic event in your life, and not all lullabies are happy. Some are quite dark. If you think of Rockabye Baby, on the treetop, and when the wind blows, the cradle, I mean, it's a dark song. And then you have the other side, which is, your mother's beautiful, your daddy's rich, and will hold you tight. So you have these two very different ideas, but in one piece of music. And that's it. So to answer your question, I recorded the CD in 2009. And did all of the editing, the digital stuff, and working in the studio around that time, and then just put it out. But I'm still working on pieces. I still find, I could change that. So.
Wow.
Now, have you put aside your own songwriting for this project?
I'm not. You sound like my wife. I haven't done much writing.
Okay.
I came to classical music when I was about 16, which is about 16 years later than most of the people that I went to school with. I went to the New England Conservatory in Boston, but I had played electric guitar, and my brother played drums, we had a little band, and then I heard classical guitar and I took off with it. And I mess around with it, I improvise a bit. I work with a flamenco dancer, La Conja, and with her, working with another artist like that, who is so alive and just raw, you can't do anything but improvise. But I do come up with different sounds. When I move my hand to the left or to the right, I have a different effect. How I bend the string, it creates a different effect. I have a whole electric guitar worth of effects, but in my fingers, it just tends to be a little more delicate in sound. So that's my composition right now, and hopefully sometime soon I'll
go back to writing. Absolutely. It's a lot of work. I mean, this is very intense.
It is.
It is.
Wow.
Well, I want to thank you for coming back.
Thank you.
We're going to be looking forward to more songs during the show.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
And we'll be back after this with Camilo Dumay and Swing Traviso.
Regresamos ahora con Camilo Dumay.